Oh, hi, this is Gifty from Baller Mom, Canada. I want to welcome everybody for my season 4 of my Baller Mom feature series. Hopefully, everybody is doing good. Starting off the year in January 2022. If you made it this far, that means you're blessed, you're alive, you're healthy. It's a great thing. Whatever did not work last year, hopefully, it doesn't repeat this year. Whatever worked last year, hopefully repeats this year. I'm going to put my volume up just so you can hear me. Um, I have a really good lineup for the rest of the season going on. And one of my special guests that I'm starting off with this year and today is a coach that is dedicated to helping parents, educators, and student athletes to be able to continue this journey that we're all on. So allow me to introduce or welcome the coach, and then he can introduce himself to everybody. So give me a moment. Let me see. Coach Ray, if you can, there we go. I sent you the invite. And thank you, Mr. Scott, for joining us as well. Hi, Coach Ray, how are you?
How are you?
Good, good, good. Yes, so I actually just gave a smaller snippet of who you are. I try not to go too long. It's not about me. This is the platform for others to be able to share what they are doing to helping us all raise our kids. So without any further ado, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and then we can get started.
Before I even start, one of my players just jumped on. Tiny.
Hi.
That's my guy. That's one of my sons. I call him. One of my sons.
Nice.
But Coach Ray, CEO of Coach Ray Inspires, and I mean, just giving a brief explanation. Like the company is just Coach Ray Inspires came about from just the furthering a vision that God gave me when I was younger, where I tried my best to try to step away from my purpose, and God was like, "Nah, there's something bigger that you're here for, and it's for the next generation, and I expect you to fulfill that." And that's where Coach Ray Inspires came from. Also, on top of that, I coach high school football at Tallwood High School in Virginia Beach. I'm an ISS coordinator at Tallwood High School as well, and been working in worked for school systems for I'm coming up on 18 years now.
Wow.
Worked in Norfolk, and now working in Virginia Beach. So just enjoy working with the youth. That's the plan. That's the goal, to just help them be better in the next generation than we were, and that's the goal.
Wow, it's a good goal, and I think we all need help when we all know when we need help, we need somebody to be there for us. And you being there is awesome. And Mrs. Scott from PCP Network often says, "Yes, my
That's
guy."
my
So,
guy. That's my guy. I
yes.
see my guy. Both my sisters jumped on. Both my sisters, Earth Destiny and
Hi,
Forever.
hi.
Those are my two little sisters. They jumped on. My business partner, GTD Store. She is an amazing business partner.
Great,
Amazing. I
great,
have nothing
great.
but kind words to say about her. She's amazing.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's a good community to have surrounding you. And we're going to dive into more about what you do and why it's so important, especially for parents who have athletes or who have student athletes and trying to, maneuver this whole path of trying to make sure that you're raising a human being, but also guiding them to get to, what it is that is destined for them in a safe way. One of the questions I want to start off with, you mentioned, you do coaching and you've been teaching and educating for a couple of years as well. And in the sports realm, did you yourself also play sports when you were growing up?
I did high school football, and I was also, I had hoop dreams. We used to get cocky. So I played my church. I go to Calvary Revival Church in Norfolk, and we used to have a whole summer league for basketball, like from ages like 8 up to like 18. So I
Wow.
played basketball in that, and I never made the high school team. I got cut like my sophomore year of high school, but I was in that summer league, and it was a competitive league. So yeah, and one thing about me is when I was in high school, I don't know, my uncle, he actually used to bring me along with him. He coached youth football and youth basketball, so he would bring me with him on Saturdays for their games, and I fell in love with coaching that way.
Wow.
At just early age, I fell in love with coaching because he just showed me how how the caring aspect of coaching mattered, and I fell in love
Okay.
with it.
Okay. That's good. So you're still in it. You're not necessarily trying to be the athlete. You're trying to give back. So the inspiration started at such an early stage without even you knowing it,
Right,
right?
and I knew my time was over after high. I knew my time was over. So, but I started coaching at 18, fresh out of high school. I started coaching flag football,
Wow.
and and been doing it. I've been doing it over 20 years now. So I love
Wow.
it. I love it.
That's good. Now, with all of us being in timeout for almost 2 years of what this thing called COVID and all, how has it been for you being a teacher, a coach, an educator, a supporter of parents and kids in the sports realm, and having this COVID sometimes stop that whole process that we were used to BC, which is before COVID. How has that impacted you?
For me, it's actually gotten a lot better because I've been able to connect with a lot of kids and stuff outside of the normality of our
Okay.
lives, and so I've gotten closer. I say my young man Tiny, he jumped on, like him and I've coached him since he was a freshman, but we got closer over the last year or so because we spent a lot of time just talking, FaceTiming, and just coaching him through life and seeing him grow to where he is now has just been amazing. He's gotten, from the time we first met, he's matured, and
Nice.
being able to see that growth over COVID and watch him start getting the college offers because he actually started to to do maturity aspect and
Hmm.
growing and learning. So I was able to kind of see that growth. As far as the parent aspect, I've had parents reach out to me to help out with their kids, and it's helped because I wasn't moving around so much. So I
Hmm.
was able to, hey, let's FaceTime, let's Zoom, whatever we can do to do it, and we can just figure out what's going on, and I can do my part to help.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I guess there's a pros and cons to this whole Rona that's been going on
Yeah,
for a while.
it's
It's gotten a lot of people to get closer, even from a distance, even though there's whatever is going on. In
right,
some ways, it has
but
been beneficial.
there's an element of it where there's nothing you can do about the situation. So the only thing you can do is figure out how to make the situation better.
Yeah.
And if we spend all our time like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, but there's things that could be being done. So the focus has to be on what can be done rather than always complaining about what we can't do.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that. What can we do versus what we can't do? I like that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now you mentioned, so I guess that there isn't that much of a hard part to it. I guess in terms of you not being able to move around physically, but you have been able to connect with everyone, and that's great. Now, leading us into what it is that you do with regards to Coach Ray Inspires
Mhm.
LLC. Tell us a little bit more about that. What is it? Where are you based? Your goal, your purpose. Spill it all out.
That's so Coach Ray Inspires. We are located in Norfolk, Virginia. That's where we are. That's the base. But we move around. Like
Okay.
we're mobile because there's people that need to be reached and people that kids that need help, and so our focus is, and you and I talked about this. Our focus is the four pillars of a successful youth. That's the
Mm-hmm.
focus of the company because we have to think about, everybody's always quick to say, well, the kids are this, the kids are that, but in order for a plant to grow, it has to be watered. It needs sunlight. It needs soil. So it needs a pot. Those are elements that help the plant grow.
Mm-hmm.
So our focus is, and me and my business partner, we talk about it all the time, is what four pillars are most impactful to the youth. Excuse me. And so we're talking about education,
Mm-hmm.
family, the community that surrounds the kid, and the kid's self-confidence. Whenever there's a kid who struggles or doesn't make it, they're missing one of those four.
Okay. So just to repeat, education,
Mm-hmm.
family,
Mm-hmm.
community, and self-confidence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Just want to
So,
repeat that just so everyone gets it too.
no, so with that being said, so what happens is with the youth is any youth that is not, like, they're struggling or they're having hard times in school, there's one missing,
Yep.
and either their family struggling in academics.
Okay. It's a little bit frozen, but we'll reconnect again. Don't worry. Yep.
Oh,
There we
am I
go.
good?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good now.
Okay, sorry. So what happens is that there's always one missing. The family may not be supportive. The education is a struggle, as in they're not having supportive teachers or they're not getting what they need from the education aspect, and the community is the surrounding them really isn't supportive. So the kid lacks the self-confidence they need to move forward. So what our goal is to combine the three: education, family, and community to get to 4, which is the child's self-confidence.
Wow,
So
nice.
to do that, we go around. Our job is to train educators on how to build effective relationships with their students. Key word: effective relationships. So because they think, oh, well, I say hi and bye to my kids. That's not an effective relationship. That's common courtesy. You're supposed to say hi and bye to your kids. So effective relationship is the impact that you make on a daily basis. When that kid's having a rough day, are you impactful or are you shutting that kid down? Do you know when that kid is hurting? Do you know when that kid had a rough morning? A meaningful relationship can recognize that.
Yeah.
So if you're just doing your job, the relationship won't be meaningful. It'll just be you doing your job to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Whereas
if your heart is in it, you can see it and you can pause and reflect it. Yep.
And God has given me the ability to be able to connect with students. And it's something I learned, and I didn't have it when I first started. I kind of grew into it, and I noticed, I was like, it was actually really easy for me to connect with these kids. So it became easier. So those relationships blossom, and a lot of them are still going now. Where kids are often, I got a kid that's in the military in Arizona. We FaceTime twice a week.
Wow.
In FaceTime, I got kids that are in college. We FaceTime multiple times, and it's what we do. So the family aspect is we talk, like we go in, give me an hour with a parent. They tell me about their problem with the kid, but you give me, within that hour, we can dissect where the issue started. And not just point the blame and say, well, you did this, you did. No, give you strategies to help you along the way.
Yeah.
Try this instead of this. How about not yelling at your kid at 6 a.m. on the way to school? How about he has to go through a school, they have to go to a school day, but you done cussed them out before they got on the bus and you expected them to have a functional day. That ain't how it works.
Yeah.
The community aspect.
That's a good point.
Because as working in school, you have it to where now kids can have their cell phones here. So there are times where I've seen kids in the hallway and their parents are fussing them out on a cell phone in the middle of the school day.
Wow.
How do you expect them to function? No one, as an adult, we can't function when somebody calls us with a problem at 8 a.m. We can't function.
Yeah.
So how do we expect the kids to be able to function? If they, it's the same thing. We have to understand that they go through the same things that we go through, and we have to understand that. And so with the community aspect, it's us similar to the education one, teaching mentors and people that surround the kid how to properly mentor. There is a right way to mentor. It's not about being the friend. It's about you are guiding this life. This life is dependent upon you equipping them with lessons that they're not getting in the house or in the school. So when you take that relationship for granted, you've now put that kid in a situation where they don't have anywhere else to turn. This is the community aspect. So if we look at now, murder rates are going up amongst the youth. Suicide rates are going up amongst the youth. Domestic abuse situations are going up amongst the youth. But the people that are surrounding them aren't guiding them. They're just around them, waiting for this kid to go pro or go to college so they can attach their name to it and say, that's my guy. But you're not guiding this kid.
No.
So these kids they don't know how to process emotions. They're not learning how to deal with tough situations because everybody's trying to be their friend or everybody's trying to be in that picture with them. They're forgetting that this kid needs guidance.
Honest guidance.
Guidance. Just if you care for the kid will grow. And that's what we do at Coach Ray Inspires. It's not about, we're not pointing the blame at the kids.
No.
Because they're growing. We're trying to fix the pillars that surround it so that when this kid grows up, they have the self-confidence to operate. They know how to deal with the tough situations. They know their teachers care about them. They know the people in the community genuinely love them. That's what we're focused on.
Yep, which equate into the whole self-confidence
Self-confidence.
aspect of it. Because once you're confident in yourself, none of these other things, if they're weak, can break you. Because together they build you up into a great foundation that you can continue and grow. And I love the fact that you said that even those who have continued, like you've helped, still comes back and continue to connect with you. And that's a great thing.
I love it. I got a graduation to go to at Mary Washington in May. You know, one of the kids, she was one. I call her one of my work daughters as well. Jeanette, she's graduating from Mary Washington. She was one of my employees when I was the youth director at the Virginia Beach Fieldhouse. And I I took her under my wing and was teaching her leadership. And you know, and she was already strong. Like she was like one of the roughest. Like she had an attitude. She wasn't trying to listen. I said, nah. In order for me to get everybody on board, I got to get her. And so I took her under my wing and taught her leadership and how to lead. So I would let her run meetings. She was in high school, and I was letting her run department meetings.
That is great leadership.
We're training you to be a leader. And now she's graduating from college in a couple months.
Well, kudos to you too then, because you're graduating from college too, right?
But the beautiful thing about that is that it proves that our system works because she had great parent support. She was an excellent student. As far as me being a part of her outside community, she had the self-confidence to do what she set out to do.
Nice.
So it proves that our system works.
It works. So Coach Ray Inspires works, obviously, because he has so many testimonials out there, are living proof. And with the graduation coming in May, that shows it. And I love that part of it because you're not just saying, oh, I started once, it didn't work out, and I didn't really continue. But you have a consistent, base of support. And the fact that your students, what do you call them? Do you call them clients, students, family, children?
Those are my kids. Those are my kids. They're not clients. Those are my kids because those are people, before we started the company, those are kids that I just were interacting with in other positions that I had. So those, when I was student support specialist in North Public Schools, those kids in that school were my kids. Wow. So the ones that I interacted with, the kids that I coached, I treat them like they're mine because I think about how I want somebody to treat my kids.
Yep. And exactly, if you put yourself in that position, then obviously you want the best. And I say this is why you and your partner are one of the great ones to go to help and support. Now, you're based in West Virginia. And
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk, Virginia. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
We're in a lot of virtual roles right now. So let's say if someone is looking to say, you know what, I like what Coach Ray is saying. He's speaking words to me. He said one of the key words that I know this is something I need to work on. But I'm all the way in like Michigan, or maybe they're here in Canada. How can they connect with you? Are you able to do that virtual support as well? Or does it always have to be in person?
We are able to do virtual support. We are able, myself and my business partner, we virtual. If you want us to come in person, let us know. We will support you how you ask us to support you.
Okay, good. So flexibility, which is great, helps out. Now, for parents' perspectives or coaches, and you mentioned some words with regards to confidence. Can you touch a little bit more of it about the whole idea that from a coach and educator's perspective, or even parents, like those who are in adult position, can do to help the child or the student athlete to build that confidence? Because maybe me, myself, as an adult, I don't have that real good confidence in myself. So how do I help somebody be confident if I'm lacking? So what are some of the tools that you can teach to the adult to be able to understand it so they in turn can be able to support the kids that, that's their child?
So one of the methods that we use that we came up with is called the H.E.A.R method.
Okay.
H.E.A.R. Have amnesia.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the E is you have amnesia, which means that when a kid does something wrong, they're going to do something. I mean, they're kids.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Okay.
You handle it in the moment that you need to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
and then you let it go.
Let it go.
You have amnesia. You let it go, because if you hold that grudge, the issue never dies.
Yep.
We're all adults, so when we make one of our, say, our significant other or a friend or a family member upset, and we apologize, we take our accountable moment, and then 2 weeks later they bring the same situation back up. It aggravates us.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it okay for us to do it to kids?
Yep.
So the second letter is E, effort. Effort is key. If you're not going to put the effort in to help the kid, then you can't be upset when they don't either trust you or respect your methods. So putting in the effort is important. And by doing that, that's just spending the most expensive currency with them that does not cost you anything but time. Time is the most valuable currency. It's the most expensive because you can't get it back.
Nope.
But when you waste it, you hurt that kid.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times these kids just want somebody to put the effort in by spending time with them, by learning them, by understanding them. You put that effort in, you'll see that kid gravitate to what you're trying to tell them. Yep. Third letter is A, and this is a hard one for some adults, especially in our culture. Apologize.
Okay.
It's okay to be wrong. We're human beings.
It's okay to say I'm sorry and mean it.
It's okay to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you do that, now it doesn't show weakness. What it does, it shows vulnerability, and it shows that kid that you recognize that you're human. Mm-hmm. It's okay to apologize. I'm sorry. And I've had to do it working in education. I've had to do it as a parent, where my daughter is 7 years old. I tell a story. My daughter, she asked me a question, and I told her she was doing something in my mom's room, and I said, no, don't do that. And she said, why? Automatic parent reaction. I plucked her.
Just because I said
Just
so.
because I'm like, no, you don't have. And I had to think for a second. I said, you know what? No. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have plucked you. I should be telling you why you don't do this. Because this generation, and what people have to understand, this generation right now is the why generation. Mm-hmm. They want to know why we're doing it. They want to know why they have to do it. They want to know why it's important. And you have to explain it.
Yep.
The whole, because I said so, that doesn't work anymore. Nope. And what we're trying to avoid the pitfalls that we saw from our parents. And it isn't negative. It's just that's what they knew. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to teach people how to go around that and say, no, you know what? Let me explain this. Yep. Let me apologize for what I did wrong. Because you want to know why, and I got upset, and I had no right to get upset when I should have just really explained the situation. Now, of course, again, if it's multiple times the same situation, then you handle it like a parent. Yeah. But it's okay to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have overreacted. And the last one is rebuild. Rebuild the relationship. Cracks are going to develop. In any foundation, eventually cracks, shifts, things happen. So you have to rebuild it. You have to restructure that. And let that kid know, hey, I know we had an issue. Even this is for my educator people. I know we had an issue on Monday. Mm-hmm. Let's try to rebuild this on Wednesday. Let's try, let's restructure this. Let's not let that kid walk in and then you bring it up Monday. Oh, we're gonna have a better day, Mr. Johnson. Like, I want to hear that. Yeah. You already set me off again. You already set me off. Oh no. Trigger. So the kid comes in. You just, hey, have a seat any other day. Then you connect with that kid on the side. When, kids are doing their work or whatever, what have you, pull them to the side, talk to them. Mm-hmm. Hey, situation on Monday got out of hand. Let's work to be better. Let's work to do better. We'll talk about it later. Let's move on. That's the start of the rebuilding process. Yes. Now that kid says, oh, okay, so they're not holding a grudge with me. Mm-hmm. Kids know this stuff. Kids aren't dumb. Nope. Let's call it is. This next generation is they're a lot smarter than a lot of us were at that age. Yes. So well advanced, we know. I like that. So we have to be aware. So one way of helping them build that confidence, and from an adult or educator's perspective, is to hear, as you said. And hear is have amnesia, have effort, apologize, which I love that, and rebuild. Yeah. Because we have to actually hear what they're trying to say. Mm-hmm. They don't think anybody respects or cares about what cares or what they're, what they're going to say or what they're going to do. So when you hear them, they have to understand, like, oh, okay, this person actually is taking value in what I'm doing. They're listening to me. And then and one of the major parts that helps parents, and this, all honesty, this is the easiest part. Just care.
Care.
Just care.
Yep. Show that you care. And it's true. Hold on, you're lagging again.
That's my sister.
Okay.
I'm gonna speak for you because she ain't trying to hear none of it. She that's why I love my sister, but she
speak for yourself.
She tough on my nieces and nephews. She tough on my nieces and nephews. I tell you.
That's okay. That's okay. And that's good because you always need someone else with a different perspective, and that helps you continue. Doesn't mean that everything you say is 100%, but it's good to have somebody put you in check too, just to make sure so you don't get too. There's a difference between being confident and cocky, I guess, in some ways. Yeah. So that's good. Yes.
Yeah, she keeps me grounded. She keeps me grounded.
Keep grounded.
And God keeps me grounded because it's a purpose-driven business. It's not a profit-hungry business. It's a purpose-driven business. So our job is to fulfill God's purpose for our lives by helping the youth. Everything else comes with ease after that.
I like that. Now, for students, though, because now we talked about the educators and adults helping them. For students, what can they do to make sure that they themselves are on track? Because we can only say so much. We can only try to show them so much. But they also have to, be able to digest that information and put that action into use. So what are some tools that you can tell the athletes or the students are watching or going to watch later or listen to it and say, this is what you can do to help put yourself on the right track so that you don't have that nagging or me calling you in the middle of the school day on your phone yelling at you for anything else that's not needed, right?
So some of the things some of the things we tell is, one, you got to listen.
Okay.
You got to listen. Like, your parents say something, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. You don't pay no bills in the house. You
heard me the first time.
You heard her when she said take the trash out this morning before she left. You heard her.
Yeah.
Just do it. Because what happens, one of the things I tell my student athletes is make life easy. Make life easy. And as an athlete, I always tell them make football easy. As in, just do what we tell you to do, the simplest task, it'll be easy for you. So what make life easy is if your parent tells you to do something, and when you don't do it, they're going to fuss. Just do it. Like, it's that simple. Just make your life easy.
Yeah.
If mom says, but we all, the ongoing joke is when mom says take the chicken out and you don't, and she go, take the chicken out. Like, she just, if you get up, you home, and you ain't got nothing going on, just go to the freezer, take the chicken out, go back, do what you was doing.
Yeah.
Simple. It's just listening. And then as far as the education aspect, it's trusting.
Okay.
Trust that the educators or the people that care about you in that building, because let's be real, all of them don't. I don't pull no punches. All of them don't. Some of them just there for the paycheck. But the ones that care about you and the ones that love you and are there for you, trust them.
Yeah.
Trust them. Because when you trust them, they're going to help guide you.
Yep. She said, we don't want to hear your mama mouth. All the dads over the world. Yeah.
That's it. You want to hear your mama mouth? Just do it, man.
Yeah.
Like, how you be able to relax?
Just do it.
But just, those people that care about you, those people that are going the extra mile for you, just trust in them.
Trust.
They're not going to steer you wrong. And then lastly, just apply.
Yeah.
Apply the lessons that you've been taught that work. I know this is a generation of I want to do it my way. But another thing I always tell if what you've done has not worked, just do the opposite.
Yeah, I love that.
Just do the opposite. Like, if you've done it your way for so long and it hasn't worked, it's made your life miserable. Just do the opposite. Just do what everybody else is telling you you're ignoring, start listening. Do the opposite. And see how smooth your life goes.
Yep. Go left. It doesn't work. Turn right.
All right.
Love that.
And one last thing, and any kid that's watching or going to watch, I need you to hear me on this, and this is a real thing. It's okay to be a good kid.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
Nobody's going to think less of you for being a good kid. Nobody's going to think less of you if you do your schoolwork and do what you're supposed to do and listen to your parents. Nobody's going to think less of you. The people on the outside that think less of you, those aren't your friends. Let's clear that up now. Those aren't your friends. That's not who you want in your life. If people in your life are letting you just go along aimlessly and not telling you to stop, get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Your real friends are going to check you. Your real friends are going to say, tighten up. Your real friends are going to say, listen to your parents. Listen. They're not gonna let you just mess up. So trust me when I tell you, it's okay to be a good kid. If you were an honor roll student in middle school, don't become the thug in high school. Be the honor roll student. If you were the honor roll student in high school, don't be the thug in college. It's stupid. Mm-hmm. It's stupid. Don't be stupid. Just the life that you had that was easy, continue that.
Yeah.
Don't change your personality to fit in. We're made to stand out, not fit in.
That's right. Be a circle in a square.
That's it.
That's it. Simple as that. Oh my, these are so good gems. I love it. I'm feeling inspired in all of this. It's like, wow, she be my guidance counselor. Now, overall, I mean, you share great knowledge for us, but what is it that we as parents or from my Baltimore community, what can we do to also help you and your company, or even what the messages that you're giving out to be able to keep spreading it? What support do you need?
Just, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Like, the message is out there. Just support. If you know there are schools in the area that could use some of our lessons and methods, share it. Yeah, share it. The link in the bio has all of our contact information, all of the sites, everything in there. So just you spread the message on social media, because I'm gonna be real. Regardless whether, and this is something that God put on my heart to say, regardless whether you are in it now or wait till later, God gonna move this train.
Yes.
Because there's a purpose behind it. So he's going to move this train, and the purpose is to help the next generation. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do what we do, and we're gonna do it with excellence, because that's what God sent us here to do.
Yep. I agree. Oh wow, this is good gems. Now, you are inspiring a lot of people. You're inspiring a lot of families, educators, leaders, and everything. Who inspires you?
Inspires me, I have to say honestly, like, growing up, my dad was my uncle who got me into coaching. Mm-hmm. And my father, one of the biggest inspirations that he did, my father passed away when I was 27, and one of our last conversations was, you deserve to be paid for what you do. You're good at what you do. Mm-hmm. And no sooner than after he passed, I got my first coaching check. Wow. No sooner than that. And so the inspiration comes from just making sure I continue the lessons that he taught, seeing the things my uncle has taught. And I have to shout out Miss Latrice McKnight. She's one of my business mentors. Oh my gosh. Listen, I'm a tag you in one of her, when I tell you this woman is amazing. Please do. She is amazing. She is an amazing leader. She's an amazing, just mentor. She is awesome. And lastly, my kids.
Wow.
Because they're in this current generation that's coming up. Mm-hmm. So leave this world better than you found it. And I'm doing it to make sure they have a better world than I had.
I love it. And I honestly, your message is coming through really nice and clear. And I can see the connection that they have with you to be able to pass on, like you said, even coming back and talking to you, like your easy flow, as we were talking earlier, the whole authenticity aspect of it make it easy to, to talk to you and hear you. And you did send key points, especially from a parent's perspective with the whole yelling and talking. So even to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm getting inspired here.
Yeah, well, my students, I had a conversation with some students about a week ago, and I told them, I was like, I don't yell at my kids. Now I do. Now, don't get me wrong. I will spank my kids if he get out of line. Like my sisters is,
Yeah, there's a line. Yes.
But I don't like to yell, because there's a difference between raising your voice and yelling. Mm-hmm. Yelling, you're not getting your point across, because yelling is all emotion driven. Yelling is 100% emotion. When you yelling at your kids, fussing, cussing, they ain't getting the lesson you're trying to teach. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna wait for you to stop talking, and I'm gonna go back to what I was doing.
Yep.
but getting a clear message across, they understand it. And then when you handle it well early, when your
Mm-hmm.
voice changes even an ounce, they like, oh, okay, let me tighten up. Like, dad voice changed. He ain't
Yep.
playing right now.
It
And then my
changes.
son, he's a little difficult. He ain't got it yet. But my daughter, she know. She like, oh, nah, that ain't playing. So,
Nope.
but that's the main thing. Inspiration is just, and I got to add in my mom, who has been a trooper my entire life. Breast cancer survivor, has dealt with a lot of different ailments, and just been like, when I say a trooper, been there day one when I started coaching ball, has never not been supportive.
Wow. Shout out to mom for sure. For sure. I love that. Another thing I wanted to find out from you though, because I think sometimes when you're posting, you have all these cool musics in the background and things like that. I'm sure you do a lot of reading as well too. So from your side, what is one of your favorite books that you've read, or what book would you recommend to any student to read to help them continue on this journey to build that confidence, especially if the four pillars around them is not as strong as they may have, but they can still read this particular book to help them get to that level?
For me right now, I'm actually reading 9 to 5 Millionaire by Jamal King. It's
Okay.
the book is it's just a big faith story about his growth and to being a millionaire, what he did to become that. And it's like a lot of the stories are bent on faith. For kids, I would plug my own, but I would just say honestly,
Wait, you
for
have a
any
book.
kid, I have two
So
that I
plug
have
your
wrote.
book. It's
But
okay.
no, so
It's
I wrote
okay.
2 books. You can find them on Amazon.
Yeah.
Cheat Codes for the Student Athlete and Own It, dealing with accountability and leadership.
Yeah.
Both are on Amazon.com. But you can read those books. And I just honestly, those two were just written out of passion and understanding that the next generation needs someone to actually point out little nuances that can help them grow. So I
Mm-hmm.
could say those 2 books, and then for any because I'll be honest and say I'm not privy to books that the music TV. I know that, but because teens, how many kids are coming up to school and be like, "Hey, coach, this is the book I'm reading," like, So, but I
Yeah.
would say honestly, anything that you're struggling with, I would be honest and say just go to Google. You Google it, look up the book and if
Mm-hmm.
one pops up, hey, you're dealing with grieving,
Yeah.
books that support grieving. I'm dealing with struggling in school. Ron Clark is actually a good author as far as kids like dealing with school as well. Um, but I would say just y'all have the technology in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have all the information in your hand. So
Yep.
whatever you're dealing
You
with
don't
is
have to
so
wait for
accessible.
encyclopedia and go to the library and sign it
Everything is so
out and
accessible
return.
now. And
Yep.
I tell my students all the time, when you don't use it, you're making the choice not to succeed. You're making a
Yes.
choice because you have everything in the palm of your hand. Whereas we
Mm-hmm.
had to go sit in the library and go siphon through index cards to find a book.
Yep.
Everything's right there.
Yep.
So yeah. So I'll say again, like my book, Cheat Codes, Own It. They're both on Amazon. Are good books. So books that inspire me. Any John Maxwell book, and like I said, right now I'm reading 9 to 5 Millionaire by Jamal King.
I like that. Okay, good. I'm going to tag those so that anybody else is also looking to get, increase your knowledge, physical or even digital book wise, they can continue and do that. Now, is your book is digital, right? Or can it be bought hard copy as well?
Hard
Hard
copy on
copies
Amazon.
also.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to order one myself too, so I can still keep on this inspiration, especially now that it's 2022 in January. Everybody setting all these goals. Might as
Oh,
well start on the part, and just keep it
I'm
going.
a
Why
big
stop?
and my business partner and I, we talk. Alex is we talk all the time, and our thing for 2022 is execute.
Execute.
I'm a huge Eric Thomas fan, and that's one of the things that he's on is execute, and that's what we talk about. Like we're no longer gonna be the I'm trying to do group. We're just gonna
Mm-hmm.
do it. We're
Just
gonna
do it.
execute. We're going to execute because we're gonna be excellent in our execution, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
goal.
Yep.
So if we don't execute, then that means there's a generation of kids that are gonna miss out because our purpose is for them. So if we don't execute,
You're waiting
they
too
miss
long.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. And one, okay, your second last question. 'Cause I like
Okay.
to break it up so you can get a little bit more comfortable with it too. Um, you mentioned a couple of people that have inspired you from various parts of your life and stages of your life. What is one of the life, a model or saying or phrase that you yourself, use as your guidance, or they may have told you that now is part of your guidance on your daily or as part of your life?
Be the change you want to be. You want to see.
Okay,
Be the change you want to see.
I
That's
like
that's
that.
stuck with me to the point where we got hoodies with that saying on it. So
Wow.
we have hoodies with that saying on. Be the change you want to see.
You
You
want
want people. You want to see change. Be that.
yeah,
Be the
do it.
linchpin for the change. Be the firing pin for the change. Don't just complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
Be that. Be the change you want to see.
Yep. Simple as that. Just like we just passed Dr. Martin Luther King's day. Literally, all the messages that he said, as somebody says, don't just quote it. Live it. Live
Live
that
it.
favorite quote of yours that you posted.
Exactly.
Live it.
Don't just post it for likes.
Yeah.
Believe in. If you're gonna post it, then you better believe in what it says.
And believe it, live it. And that's the only way that will come out. So we can see how you are as a person, not because you love
Right. It's easy to love a person, and their quotes, but if you ain't applying it, stop talking about it.
It's, yes, exactly. Wow, I love it. Now, round off as before I finish up for this year. I wanted to just make it straight to the point, concise, and give each guest the opportunity to be able to get their message out so that people can connect with them. You already talked about your 4 pillars. You talked about the H.E.A.R aspect of it for educators and also for students, athletes, on what they can do to themselves to be able to keep being inspired and build that confidence. Um, is there anything else missing that with regards to Coach Ray Inspires that you're doing? Like what's coming up that we can look forward to? You already mentioned how we can find you, which I would tag on it, but is there anything else that we can look forward to from you for the rest of the year that they can continue to follow and get that guidance?
You can look forward to the third book, which I'm working on now.
Okay.
Um, my goal is to have that done by March, have it out by March. So that's one of the big things. You can definitely look forward to myself and my business partner. We're going to start doing live teachings
Mm-hmm.
of our methods to
Okay.
where we're going to, so that people can see it, like, and this stuff works. Our
Yeah.
methods work. There's no what we've done, and we met working at alternative school together, and our methods work. Kids
Mm-hmm.
that people gave up on graduated, walked out of that school with and just would made sure they came and saw us before they went to graduation. Our
Mm-hmm.
methods work. The methods that God gave us to teach work. So look forward to seeing us do the live. We're going to be doing live teachings of our methods. Look forward to us just being, we're going to trust God. We're going to be out here going to schools, teaching our methods live. So just look forward to that. And
Yep.
also, we do our apparel is online as well. So look forward
Mm-hmm.
to that stuff. And again, it's purpose driven. So just know that you're going to see us do everything that we do with passion and just aggression under the purpose that was designed for us.
Oh, wow. I'm so inspired, honestly, by it. And based on everything that you said, I see nothing else but progress and
Thank
growth
you.
for you guys, honestly, because you are doing something that, a lot of people talk about it, but you're putting into action. And it's great to see that. It's great to see it. And you're not just looking on one particular, you're spread. And being that way, you're accessible regardless of where each person is.
Phone
So
is
maybe
always
one day
on.
we can have you cross over here, and when this
Hey,
whole
listen,
Rona is done.
and listen, we can do a live right now. If you want us to come do a live, somebody that wants us to do, we do a live. But when it clears up, we will
Yep.
come out.
Yep. Come, and we'll definitely accept you in here. But yeah, I wanted to thank you so, so much for sharing all of your knowledge. So
Well,
much
thank you for having
information.
me.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Thank you for having
recap this. I'm gonna repost this and make sure that anybody that tune in and out or haven't touched it or anything like that, just pause it, listen, watch it. There's so much information here that Coach Ray shared, and it touches not just you as a parent, but even as educators, coaches, and the student athlete themselves. So this is great.
me.
Last word to you before we sign off.
Last word, I will say, remember who we're doing this for. This is for the next generation, so we can't be lazy with it. They're depending on us to do everything with excellence.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
let you have the rest of your evening. Happy New Year, everybody.
Same to
Thank
you.
you. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.